Forecast for 2021. When we made the predictions for 2020, we had to start from an article published in August 2019. This article talked about the looming global institutional crisis. The basis of that article was the entry of Pluto into Capricorn in 2008 and the lunar eclipse of January 10, 2020. We mentioned this for better understanding that today is a consequence of yesterday. If you want to understand the future, you first have to understand the past. What was seen for 2020 was simply the result of wrong actions taken by governments and global institutions in 2008. If you think that the virus caused the problem of 2020, I suggest you investigate a little more. The last drink does not get you drunk, but everything you had before. Usually we look at the future as something uncertain, to which we set expectations, wishes and goals, but we do it from an isolated point of view and out of context. What do I mean? When we project into the future, we do it just like a writer who begins to write a book, and is just working on the idea. The title, the characters, and plot of the book are an idea that will take shape as the writing progresses. We, who are the creators of our own reality, are like the writer, but the book we are going to write is not a new book, it is part of a saga that began years ago. The characters, plot, facts and other elements, some already existed in the previous books, some disappeared, and others were incorporated given the dynamics of the events and actions. Yes, we are creators, but within a context. In case there is any doubt, let's take this example. A person who was a doctor for 20 years cannot say that next year he or she will be a lawyer. That person may leave the current profession and start studying law, which will take time and effort, but the near future will be conditioned by the previous profession. How many people started dieting, or going to the gym, and were able to make it part of their daily life from that moment on? The answer is, very few. Why do weight loss diets rarely work? Because if people would like to make a change in their eating habits, first they have to be conscious of what they are doing, put the energy into it, and define it as a priority in their lives. With the intention alone it does not work. This applies both at the personal as global levels. As we already know, as above is below, as below is above. What is in the micro is in the macro. We see this in the countries electing government as officials. At some point, citizens voted for a certain party and the results of that government were not good, so when they had the opportunity to vote again, they voted for the opposite party. It turns out that the opposing party that was later in government did not conform to the population either, so the next time, people came back and voted for the party that did not produce the desired results before. The question is, if the previous time, such a party did not work, why did the population vote for them again? We do not realize that we trip over the same stone more than once. We do not evolve. We have to examine our past seriously, both on a personal and social level, if we want our future to be different. Remember that life moves in circles, it is not linear. We can expand and enlarge the circle with our actions and evolution, or we stay spinning in the same circle that we were born, like the hamster in the wheel. The natal chart and the transits show it clearly. The constant movement of the planets repeats cycles around our natal chart, which vary in combination of planets, in the same way as the interactions between characters in a book, but always in a sequence that depends on what happened before in the previous chapters. It will be easy to do the astrologically analysis for the year 2021, but what is the purpose? If people are going to do in 2021, the same thing they did in 2020, it doesn't make any sense. What is the use of telling the dragonfly, which is attracted by the fire, not to go towards it because it burns? There is a big difference between the dragonfly and us. The difference is the development of consciousness. That is the superiority of the human beings against the rest of nature. It is not that nature does not have it, it does, but to a lesser degree. The big difference is that we have the freedom of our actions, something that a tree does not have. The future for everyone, especially in 2021, will be based on the level of consciousness of our actions. It will be up to each one of us to take control of our lives, without expecting anything from governments or other people. Even if they are part of the plot in our book, until now, they have been characters who did not contribute to our personal development. Most of them are dark beings, only motivated by their greed, limitations and shortcomings, which distance far from the rational use of consciousness. The stars are there to mark our learning path, not to solve problems or to create them. We are the ones who are in control, not others. Year 2021 will bring what we want, but you have to consider what Einstein said, madness is always doing the same thing and expecting a different result. With this article, I say farewell to 2020, conveying my most sincere thanks to our readers and friends who have trusted with their consultations. Just try when raising your glasses to toast for the new year, to think in the greatness of the human being and the universe, and of its unlimited expansion of consciousness that it possesses, and project towards a better new personal and global paradigm, which is possible, if we gather enough critical mass. I wish you a safe and happy holiday season. Thank you for listening. You can subscribe to our channel or to our blog at www.thenewroads.com.